Tennessee makes the College World Series Finals, and it really wasn't even close. Tennessee had Florida State in check. But the thing that stood out to me most of all is Tony Vitello. And the fact that I believe he got in Florida State's head. The fact that they had that blow up in the fourth inning, that Tony Vitello at one point took one of their balls to check that it's being scuffed, and they're up 6-1 at the time, I believe. Tony Vitello has great personality, sometimes maybe a little too much. But what do you make, today's tough question, of Tony Vitello on the message board? What do you make of him owning Florida State, as he has?
I think it's par for the course for Tony Vitello. I mean, this is what he does, and this is how he gets in their heads. Tony Vitello, I think the aura, or I guess you could say hatred of Tennessee that existed in 2022 is still kind of there. The difference is it's more in other teams' heads than it was in Tennessee's head. I think Tennessee generated a lot of the hatred in 2022 and then put the tournament play in their own head because they were starting to put more added pressure on themselves. They've been level-headed this whole year, but the hatred has come from other teams who still feel what they felt about Tennessee 2 years ago. So I think there's a little bit of it's almost like gamesmanship. Dave, I think the biggest story, though, is, I mean, the hero out of this to get Tennessee to the College World Series Finals is Frank Anderson, and not because of his starting pitching. And I wrote this yesterday. It's because of the bullpen. The bullpen has been flawless for Tennessee.
He's Tennessee's pitching coach, for those that don't know. Go ahead.
Yes, he's Tennessee's pitching coach. Tennessee, from the last 2 games, bullpen hasn't surrendered a run. Kirby Connell and Nate Snead, in about 6 innings total pitched, have not surrendered any runs except for Connell surrendering 1 run in the first game against Florida State, in which he came in after an error that should have gotten Tennessee out of the inning to begin with. So that's the only run that either of them combined have surrendered. And obviously clutch pitching, they have not allowed a run in the 8th or the 9th inning in any game so far in the College World Series. So you really have to give credit to the bullpen. I think this team is, I don't like to use the word, they're just clutch. I mean, bullpen pitching, Dave, is where
Let me stop you there for a second. Let me stop you there for a second. Why do you not like the word clutch?
I think sometimes people overvalue clutch based on moments and not actually looking at data. And a lot of sports are luck. So just for instance, technically Kobe has more standout game winners than LeBron. So people would say Kobe's the clutch player, LeBron's not. The data doesn't bear that out. LeBron is significantly more clutch than Kobe was. Kobe was not a clutch player at all, by the way. And you can look at the data to prove that. And so I think people fall in love.
I would totally disagree with not at all. But anyway, we can have that discussion. I guess the question I'm asking you is, if you don't believe in clutch, then how do you explain some of the things that Tennessee has been able to do? Because I believe clutch is overrated. So you and I think I may be closer than on the same page than we initially thought. I think it's overrated. But I do think there's something to going up to the line or the box or whatever and just having this sense of calm. And I think that is clutch. I don't think it's go up there going, I'm going to hit a home run. I'm going to hit a home run. This is gone. I'm going to hit this 3. I think it's just having that sense of calm. I believe that is clutch. Can you give me that?
I know I will give you that. But what I mean is that's not always reflective of the player themselves being clutch as much as it is the circumstances surrounding them where that pressure becomes added or not.
I agree with that. For instance, Jordan, the most clutch player of all time, as most people would deem him, benefited a lot when they got Scottie Pippen and then Tony Kukoc later as a guys that could take people away from him. So he was certainly more clutch when he had better players than when he didn't.
And when he wasn't exhausted trying to do everything.
I'm more clutch when Caleb's on the show as opposed to not. I want you to finish that thought. They're always clutch at Rick Terry Jewelry Design. Rick Terry Jewelry Design. They've got the affordable fire opals for game day. And we love Rick Terry. We're also going to give away a fantastic prize here in the month of June, and we look forward to that. They want to be your jeweler, Rick Terry Jewelry Design. go ahead and click right below. Know that you can look right over my corner at any time and see that Power T pendant or that State of Tennessee pendant. That is fantastic looking. And we've got the Power T cufflinks as well. They've got them all at Rick Terry Jewelry Design, where they say, go Vols. Caleb, you were going to say, sir?
Yeah, I was going to say it's a combination of on-field or on-court things like the help you have around you, but it is also a combination of what type of pressure is on you. One of the examples I would give is if you want to say Tom Brady's more clutch than Peyton Manning because he delivered more in big moments, fine. But Dave, let's be honest. When Tom Brady was given the Super Bowl, in Tom Brady's first Super Bowl game-winning drive, there wasn't really a lot of pressure on him because he's a 6th-round draft pick backup quarterback in that Super Bowl game. So it's not like anybody's going to hold it against him if he doesn't lead the game-winning drive.
Well, there's pressure in the Super Bowl.
Right, but what I'm saying is part of the pressure is how much backlash are you going to get if you don't deliver? This was 2022 Tennessee. Tennessee put so much pressure on themselves by how much they flipped off the college baseball world. So it was going to look really bad if they lost, and they put more and more pressure. There's a lot less pressure on them this year if they don't deliver. And so sometimes not all moments, sometimes the same moment does not add the same amount of pressure for each player. Does that make sense? Like in the 2011 NBA Finals, LeBron had way more pressure on him than Dirk had because of LeBron joining Miami, even though they were in the same event. They were in the same game.
Okay. Who has the most pressure on them? Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's going to be Texas A&M that they're going to play. Too strong of a pitching staff. So,
that's already clinched, right? I think that already happened.
Well, they Texas A&M. No, they have to. Kentucky has to play first.
No, Kentucky was eliminated by Florida. I think it's already a lock. Texas A&M is it's Tennessee, Texas A&M in the finals.
Okay, so Tennessee, Texas A&M. I know they have a fantastic coaching staff. Caleb is sharp today, Robert. Good call. But let me ask you, what are now the expectations? Because really, if you look at it, it would be a positive step. And we referenced Jordan. He had to make it to the conference finals and then the finals. He took steps along the way in topping the Pistons. So is this a success in and of itself, no matter what happens now? And I'm actually going to make that our poll question. Despite what happens in the finals, is this a success no matter what? Caleb, what say you?
No, because the added pressure on Tennessee baseball is not their fault. It's the fault of the athletic administration for consistently being good in every sport and saying that we are the best sports program in the SEC. You can't keep saying that without bringing home some hardware. And I'm sorry, baseball is one of the best positions.
There's no pressure. They haven't put the pressure on themselves.
I know that. I said it's not their fault. It's not their fault. But
the athletic department's just good. We put the pressure on them, right?
The athletic department put the pressure on them because the athletic department has Danny White not been touting these Directors Cup numbers constantly? Isn't Tennessee branding themselves as an everything sport? They are doing that consistently. If you're going to do that consistently, you got to bring home hardware somewhere. So Danny White has put pressure on this baseball team to actually deliver. It's not their fault. I'll be the first to tell you it's not their fault. But it's not a success that they don't win it because Tennessee at some point has to bring home some hardware if they're going to sit there and talk about how they are the best all-everything sport. You can't do that and not have any championships to show for it.
Okay, sorry, a poll question on the YouTube page. Is it a failure if Vols don't win the College World Series Finals? I got a couple of no options. No, that's just dumb. No, positive step. Yes, they're the best team. Which no would you choose?
I wouldn't choose either.
Yes, you would choose yes.
I would just say yes. Yes.
I would choose no, that's just dumb. Because if you play for if you're one of the two teams that play for a championship in your sport, that's a good season. And I see you shaking your head, but philosophically you got to agree with me, right?
Nope.
Maybe not in this instance, but philosophically, if I told you your Memphis Grizzlies were going to win the West and play for the NBA Finals next year, you would take that. That's a positive step.
Yes, I would take that. That's a positive step, but I wouldn't be happy if we didn't win it, the Grizzlies, because if they just made the finals, Ja Morant would all of a sudden think he's the greatest player ever and then go shooting out guns everywhere and then get suspended for the next year.
Caleb, you could have just agreed with me.
Long story short, I just want to point out with Texas A&M, Tennessee faced their ace, Ryan Prager, in the SEC tournament. That's their only game. And in a little over 2 innings pitched, they had 3 hits, scored a run, put 5 guys on base. So I think that, look, Tennessee's been done well against aces all year. So, but Ryan Prager is maybe the best ace in all of baseball. So
I think what you wrote yesterday is going to apply to the finals, and I think it's the bullpen.
I think so too.
I'm not even hanging my hat on how I pick a team based off the aces. I'm totally the other direction.